What's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Fee here. So today we are about to get into my 15-minute makeup routine. Now this is the routine that I do whenever I need to create content. I need to run out the house very quickly. And then those days where I just feel like my skin really needs a break, but I want to cover up the acne and the scarring and pigmentation and all of that. So I thought that it would be fun to see if I could actually keep this routine in 15 minutes or less. So I'm actually going to set a timer on my phone for when we get started. Now I will tell you guys, I already did my skin prep. Now listen, I can keep the makeup in 15 minutes, but the skin prep was gonna need a little bit extra time. And if I don't do it in 15 minutes, we're just gonna adjust it and say my 20-minute makeup routine, my 25-minute makeup routine. But y'all, let's get into it. I'm about to get ready to hit this start button and we're gonna see what we can come up with. Alright, so first things first, of course you need your skincare and your sunscreen, but y'all, when I tell you that you have to get this Poreless by Tarte, if you do not have Poreless by Tarte, what are you doing? Especially if you have acne. I will tell you, it has been a lifesaver when it comes to laying down my foundation, concealers, and all of that. The next thing that I'm going to go in with is the Danessa Meyers. This is the water powder serum. It turns into like a matte primer, but it still keeps the skin like soft and supple, which is what I personally love about it. And it goes well on top of that Poreless primer, because y'all know sometimes like you can blend primers and it don't always turn out the way that you need it to turn out. Now, as that is setting, and it only needs to set like 30 seconds or so, up to a minute max, I try to decide which concealer I'm going to use. So this is a routine where I actually do not put on foundation. I know. So I have been going between using the House Labs concealer. My color is the medium deep golden color. And then I also use the Pat McGrath concealer, which is in the color MD22. So either one works. They're pretty much both my same color. Just depends on how I'm feeling that day. Today, I'm going to use the Pat McGrath. Now, when I do a full face, I do use the color corrector. I do use the green concealer by LA Pro Concealer if my face is having the breakouts and the redness and the inflammation. But this particular concealer is a full coverage concealer, y'all. So I literally just go in over the spots that I want to conceal. And some of it I'll drag down just because I know I'm going to need more coverage in that area. Ooh, we already at 12 minutes. Okay. So like this spot here is a dark spot for me. I probably need a chemical peel if I'm being honest with you guys. So I do intend on getting one. The best time to get a chemical peel is in the winter because that's when you are typically in the house. So I'm already like planning for that. So again, I'm just finding all of the areas where I have hyperpigmentation, darkness, redness, anything that I want to be one complexion. Okay. The good thing about this concealer is that you can really drag it out, if I'm being honest with you guys. Like, that is the thing that I love about it, is that a little really goes a long way with this concealer. For my brush, I'm going to go in with the Danessa Meyers brush. So we're going to try to let that set. We down to 11 minutes. So we can't let it set too long. But basically I go in and I pat. I don't do any dragging, but I pat around the area that I intend to conceal. Now the important thing is you got to find a concealer that is your color, because you're not dragging it and putting it everywhere all over your face. Now you can kind of extend the pat out, you know, if you just want to make sure you have some coverage in those areas so that it doesn't look like you just stuck makeup in one spot of your face. This is not meant to be like just a perfect face of makeup. This is meant to be like an everyday, I'm running some errands to Walmart, I want to look decent on camera, but I'm not trying to sit in a full face of makeup all day type of look. Honestly, this is the face that I do for church. Cause girl, I used to try to do them full face of makeup for church on Sundays, and let me tell you, would never be on time, just couldn't get there on time. So I had to teach myself how to condense my process. All right, done. We down to 9 minutes. Oh my God. We are down to 9 minutes, my girl. All right, you can go in with a little bit of contour if you want to. In this case, I only need it on my cheeks. Now, I will admit, y'all didn't see me put any makeup on my forehead. That is because my hairstyle, I don't need makeup there. Like, if I put makeup there, it's basically just gonna collect oil, you know? So I don't really put makeup on my forehead right now, but I mean, you could have put a few dots, you know, right in here. I just don't need it because of the hairstyle that I'm wearing. All right, and then we need blush. So my go-to blush is going to be Peach Sorbet. This is by Huda Beauty. And I'll just kind of come in with a couple of dots. These blushes on my complexion go a long way. So you don't want to overdo it for sure. And y'all can see I'm still using that same one brush. Now in this one, putting concealer under your eyes is an option. I actually learned that I prefer not to for these days. Now, if you got darkness under your eyes, well, of course, like, do your thing. But I just kind of drag out the blush. And I like the way that it gives me a more natural look. Like, I'm not worried about it caking up under my eyes. Y'all know how, like, throughout the day, your concealer can kind of wear off under your eyes. So just like bringing that blush up under, so that if somebody's looking at my face, it focuses more in on the blush than anything, has been a game changer. But I'm gonna show y'all, if we have time, what I do at the end. If like once I get down to the bottom, I'm like, I don't really like it as much as I thought I would. All right, so now that all of that is on, I'm going to take my Prep and Prime. Girl, we at 7 minutes and 25 seconds. And then I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Spray. Because the base is done. Now, really, we just coming back in with powders, which is good news. And I need number 2 for the bottom half of my face. And I'm going to take my Juvia's Place bronzer, and then I need my blush, okay? So I need a powder puff. All right, so for me, this is where the powder puff comes in. And I'm only doing the bottom half. And that honestly fills in any gaps as far as like where I put the concealer in my skin. It just brings it all together into one good complexion for me. Now you can put a little bit, like I said, on your forehead if you want to. That's totally up to you. And then we're gonna take our Juvia's Place bronzers. I use the tan palette. And I'm gonna come back in where I put that contour. Cause this is really where the makeup, where somebody's like, oh, she got a cute little face on, you know. So that's the place where you wanna make sure you got some makeup for the people, girl. And I just come in with this. Make sure it's blended good and it's giving me a, like I like it. Take the blush, pat it, and go over where I just previously put my blush. And I am a powder girl. Like, I prefer a finish with powder. Some girls wear cream and their makeup looks amazing. My makeup looks good once I got some powder going. All right, so there's that. We are down to 4 minutes, 48 seconds. Some people start with their brows. I actually do not. And depending on how I feel, some days I use brow gel, some days I don't. So I'm just going in And because this is a natural face, I'm not gonna go all the way in on the top. I'm actually gonna start in the middle of that brow and come down so that I can keep like the naturalness of the brow. And I don't feel like obligated for it to be perfect. And then I take my Pro Pencil by Anastasia and I just go under and line it. Also, this face does not call for eyeshadow. You can use eyeshadow sticks and all that if you want to. It's at your discretion. I'm just talking about, girl, we need a quick little one too. I feel like we look decent enough for the day and we can get on camera, because a lot of conversations that I have with people is I'm not creating content like I want to because I gotta do my makeup, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Who said? Number one. But number two, if you feel like that, then you need to find a way to be more efficient so that you can eliminate that excuse, right? Because at the end of the day, that's really all it is an excuse not to create, not to do what you set out to do. But you keep writing it down as a goal every month, and you ain't doing what you said you was gonna do. So there's my brows. I still got 3 minutes. See what happens? And that's the way that I like it. I like it when it's like, okay, girl, you still got a little time to play around. And so if you really want to have a good time, same brush, y'all. Like, I have not changed brushes. I take the Anastasia contour palette in that brown. You can just lightly dust your eyelid. Boom. Now you got some eyeshadow. And it gives you just that natural look, right? So we are down to 2 minutes. The last thing that we need, actually, I'm gonna have to pause this because I don't have it. Hold tight. All right, so the last thing that we need, mascara, of course. Now, before you say, she didn't put on no setting spray, I'm only putting it on the top. I'm going to set it, and then I'll go back in after it dries and do my bottom mascara. Also, a lot of times I use brown on the bottom and not black, especially during the daytime. I just prefer the way that looks. And then for my lips, that's the last part. We got 1 minute and 42. So I'm letting my mascara dry because a lot of times I go and put another layer of mascara. So essentially I set my face and then I finish with the final mascara. And I'm using the Limitless Round Thy Makeup Forever as my lip pencil for today. And for lip, I love the Cuffed Up. This is by Urban Decay. Y'all know I like pink, so I'm always going for a pretty, I guess you can call it like a baby doll pink. And I actually go over that liner. Ooh, 46 seconds. And I take my Anastasia Cotton Candy. Right there in the center. And you want to get you some more setting spray. I'm going to finish it off with Fix It Matte. Girl. See what happens when you brushing? Y'all, that's the end of my face. And I got 10 seconds left. So once this dries, I go back in with the mascara. And that's it. That's the face of the day. Look. The alarm went off. We did it, sis. We did it. So y'all drop down in the comments to let me know what you thought. Is this a face that you think you could try for yourself? It's just an everyday quick routine to get you out the house, especially for my girls that are aspiring to be influencers and content creators in this upcoming year. Eliminate the excuses. Find ways to be more efficient. Find the most convenient way for yourself and get to it, okay? Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll link the products that I use down in the comments for you guys below. And I'll see y'all on the next video. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Bye.